Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today, Masechtas Sotah daf Lamed Zayin. We're going to begin on the bottom of Lamed Vav Amid Beis. Yehuda Mahi. We mentioned that Yehuda did something heroic, and because he was Mekadosh Shem Shemayim before Hesia, so therefore his entire name has Hashem's name, Yud, Hey, a Vav and a Hey. And therefore, we want to know why. Desanya Hayramer Omer Kishamdu Yisrael Hayam Hayishvatim Menatzchim Zemzeh. So when we were at Yam Suf, the different Shvatim were fighting with one another. Zeh Omer and Yard Chilul Yam, Zeh Omer and Yard Chilul Yam. Each of the Shvatim wanted to be the first ones to heroically go into the Yam Suf. Kofatz, as we continue to Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph, Shifto Shel Binyamin v'Yard L'Yam Tchila. So the Shevet of Levi went first. Shnamar, as the pasuk says in Tehillim, Sham Binyamin Sa'ir, Binyamin, who was the youngest, Roidem, he was the ruler. I'll take your Roidem, Ella Rad Yam. He went down into the sea first. V'Hayu Sari Yehuda Rog Mimoisam. And because of that, the leaders of Yehuda were following him. Shnemer Sari Yehuda Rig Masam. Lafika Zacha ben Yom Matzadik Vanasa Ushpizchan Ligvura. Because of that, Ben Yom was Zaycha that he became a host to Hashem himself. Says Rashi, Shebeis Kachik Kadashim Bani Bechelka. That the base of Mikdash, and specifically the Kodesh Kodashim, was built in his portion. Shenemar Venk Seifav Shachain. In between the shoulders, Hashem rests. Amrullah Rabbi Yehuda Lo Kachayimai. So that's not how it went down at all. The opposite. People did not want to go. They weren't volunteering to go. They were saying, I don't want to be the one to go into the Yam Suf. It's like suicide. Kafetz Nachshon ben Aminadav v'Yard L'Yam Tchila. This is the famous Gemara that Nachshon ben Aminadav from Binyamin went first. Shneimar, as the pasuk says in Hosea, Savavuni b'Chachash. They surrounded with Chachash Ephraim those who denied. U'Mirma Beis Yisrael, and the deceit of Beis Yisrael. Yehuda Oid Rod Im Kel. However, Yehuda also went down with Hashem. The Allah Mefarish b'Kabbalah, and this it's mentioned in Sefer Tehillim, Hoshieni Elokim, save me Hashem, ki bo mayim ad nafesh. That the water literally went all the way up to his neck or to his nose. Tavati be'ivin matsula min maimud. So again, this is referring to the depths that came there that person could not stand. And furthermore, it says, Al tish tepeni she boiles mayim. V'al tibvo'eni matzul v'goymer. That do not allow the stormy water to affect me, and do not allow the sea to swallow me up. So because of this, Moshe saw what was going on, and he was mispalel that hopefully we could do something. The sea should split or something. Jewish people are drowning in the sea. This is not the time for praying. There's the time for praying, but now is not the time. What am I supposed to do? So he said to him, just go and travel. Continue. So just lift up your staff, and then, as we know, what ended up happening? Because they took action. Then he stood up. Nachshon ben Aminadav went into the water. So therefore, because of that, he was Zaycha to have a ruler to rule the Klal Yisrael. Shneimar Hais Yehuda lekadshai. It was for Yehuda Kadesh. Yisrael mam shaloisa. Matam Hais Yehuda lekadshai. What was the reason why he should be Zayche? The Yisrael Mamshal Oisav. Mishum de Bahayam Rav Yanais. As we say in Hallel, because the Yam saw and it fled. In other words, it was in this chus that Yehuda went into the water, or specifically Nachshon and Amminadav, that Yehuda was Zayche, that they should be able to rule and ultimately be kings. Tanya Rabbi Eliezer and Yaakov Omer, this is a difficulty that we had. In Har Grizim and Har Evel, it mentions that Shevet Levi was on the mountain. But yet elsewhere it says they were in between the mountains. You can't say that they were on the top of the mountain where it says they were on the bottom. So Ketzad, where were the Leviim? On the mountain or in the bottom? So Zik says a few pshatim. Zikni kahuna levia lamata, v'shar lamala. One pshat is that it was the Zikni kahuna and Leviim. They were taka on the bottom because these were the Zakanim, the elders, and everyone else was lamala, and everyone else was above. So Rashi says, when we're dealing with lamata, it means eitzel ha'aron, right, near where the aron is. So that was for the Zakanim. However, everyone else was lamala. All the other Leviim were above. That's one answer. Rabbi Shai Omer, Kol haroy l'shareis lamata. Anyone who was fit to engage in carrying the aron, they were by the aron. V'shar everyone else was above. Rabbi Omer, no. El be'el lamata. Everyone, all of Shevet Levi was on the bottom. Hein oimnim havchu pneihem klapi har grizim. They turned their faces toward har grizim. Upaschel b'bracha. Klapi har evel. Upaschel b'klola. So, what that means is that really they were on the bottom. So, what does it mean that they were on the mountain? It means they faced the mountain. They were near it. My al b'samuch. It just means that they were near. Kedesanya. As it says, Sotah al hamareches lavoyin zaka, referring to the lechem upon him, it says the word al. Says Rashi, al b'samuch shahayim moishiv shnei bezich lavoyina ben shnei hasidarim. It wasn't put on top, but it was put next to it. Rabbi Omer al b'samuch, Atayim al b'samuch, al mamish, maybe means on top. Kishu Omer b'sakaisa al ha'aron, Havi Omer al b'samuch. When it came to the paroiches, it uses the words v'sakaisa, which sounds like a covering, like schach. Says Rashi, but al korchach lav al mamish. It can't literally mean it was on top of the aron. Why? The hamachitza havi paroiches lo hayasamach. Because we're talking about the paroiches, and the purpose of the paroiches was like a machitza. It was like a wall. So wall isn't something which covers. It's not on top of something. It's next to it. That's the purpose of a wall. So therefore, this is a raya. Sometimes when it says the word al, it's really meaning samach. Question 7. Ma'o pasik de muchach minei de al misparish samach v'hu binyan av lachrini. So as we said, when it comes to the pasik v'sakais al aron es hapareiches, because it says the pareiches, so we know a paroches, a curtain, which is like a wall, can't be above something. It's on the side. Even though it's true, there's a shita in the Gemara in Sukkah that says that, I think it was Rav Shimon, that v'sakaisa is referring to this tiny little piece that overhangs on the top of the curtain. And therefore that taka could be what it's talking about, so it could be al mamish ayin sham. And then it says the hafku paneim klapi har grizim upasu b'bracha. So they would turn to the various mountain, and they would say the bracha. They would turn to the other mountain and say the klola. Tanurban. Baruch b'chlal. Baruch b'prat. Or b'chlal or b'prat. What does this mean? So let's look at Rashi. Kol brachas v'klolis nemer b'har grizim har evel bichlal prat. They were all said more generic and then more specific. Baruch asher yokim es divri haTorah zos, or asher lo yokum havi klal. Sorry, klal. That's just general. The whole achas ve'achas beprat, everyone was specified by Baruch or Baruch asher lo yasa pesel masecha, or asher yasa pesel masecha v'chin kulon. So it was more generic, and then it specified certain things that you should not do. And if you do, like Grez Avodah Zorah, it's a klala. If you stay yourself away from those things, then you have a bracha. So each one, there was a klal and a prat. So there's really 4 elements. Again, Tanaban Baruch B'chlal Baruch B'prat, or B'chlal or B'prat. Lilmoid Lamed Lishmar V'lasais. There was different levels. There was learning, teaching, guarding, and doing. So all of them, says Rashi, Kol HaMitzvos Kulan to Unois Arba. They all required 4 parts. So this is what took place. There was actually 4. Okay. Now, we're going to continue on with Beis, but we may have to go back to see these Rashis. So when it says Lilmod Lamed Lishma V'lasais Hare, as we continue to Lamed Zayin with Beis, Arba. That's 4. Arba v'Arba, Hare Shmoina. So 4 and 4, that's 8. Shmoina, Hare Sheish Esrei. 8 plus 8 is 16. V'chein b'Sinai, v'chein b'Arvas Moav. So this is how it was done, not just there, but also at Sinai, and also at Arvas Moav. Shnemer Elu Divrei Habris Asher Siva Hashem Es Moshe V'Gomer. Uksebu Shemartem Es Divrei Habris Hazois V'Gomer. Nimsa Memches Brisos Al Kol Mitzvah. So if there was 16, and it was done 3 times, once here by Har Evel Har Grizim, once at Sinai, once at Arvos Moab, which is 3 times, so that's 16 times 3 is the 48. Okay. So let's look at Rashi. Arba Barba. What does that mean? Going back to Amud Aleph. So Arba Brisos, there's 4 Brisos. Limod, the Arba Lamed Hare Shmona. There's 4 Brisos about learning, 4 about teaching. Shmoina Ha'ika Od Shmona Lishmar V'lasais. So each of the 4, there's 4. So to my Sinai, says Rashi, Kishenemru Kol Mitzvos Moshe Nitnu Kulan Ba'or Ubarach B'chlal Prat. All of them were also given a klal and a bracha, generically and also as a prat. Also, Barbas Moav Kish Amra Yisrael Kedechsiv Be'aver Hayardim Eretz Moav Hoyel Moshe. Beginning of Sefer Dvarim. So that's what that's referring to. So there's 3 separate times that these episodes took place, which equaled 48. Because again, 16 times the 3 is 48. Okay, so that's how we understand this. Rav Shimon Moitzi Har Grizim Har Evel Umachnas Ol Moyed Shiva Midbar. He removes the time of these blessings and curses by Grizim and Har Evel, and he instead says the 3rd time is by Oyel Moyed while we were in the Midbar. Okay. Now why? Why not? Why does he remove it? So Rashi says, Lafi Shuli Armi Yeshua Lehen Kol Torah Ella Mitzvos Shiva Parsha. Because actually he holds that by Grizim and Har Evel, not all of Torah was given over. It's just the things that are mentioned, those specific blessings, those specific curses. So that's why he moves it out. Instead puts in the time of the Oyel Moed while we're in the Midbar. Pluta Dahani Tanoi, the Sanya Rabbi Shmuel Oimer, Klolos Nember B'Sinai. All the general rules were said at Sinai. Pratos B'Ol Moed, which again is not what we're saying here. We said at Sinai Klolos in Pratos. And Bekiva Oimer Klolos Pratos Nember B'Sinai, which is what we said. V'Nishnu B'Oyel Moed, and it was said by the Oyel Moyed, Vin Nishtal Shub Arvas Moav, and it was said a third time Ba'arvas Moav. Now again, what we just according to Rabbi Shimon, he says that it did happen by two of those places, by Arvas Moav and Sinai, but he says that it was Sinai Oyel Moyed, which is actually the same shita apparently as Rav Shimon l'chayra. The ein l'cha kol davar mitzvah sheksuv b'Torah shelo nichruso leho arba'im mishmana brisos, that there was these 48 blessings, covenants. Rav Shimon and Yehuda ish kfar ako yamer mishum Rav Shimon ein l'cha mitzvah sheksuv b'Torah shelo nichruso lehen arba'im mishmana brisos. 48. Kol sheish shel sheish meos elaf u'shloishes alaf v'chamish meos v'chamishim. So he says it wasn't just the 48, but there's 603,550 people. As every Bnei Israel became an oyerev, became a guarantor for each other. So therefore, it's not just 48 brisos, but it's times 603,550. Rabbi Ladivi Rav Shimon ben Yehuda ish kfar ako Shem Misham Rabbi Shimon. If that's true, ein l'cha kol mitzvah shebatar shel nichos oleha arba'im b'shmona brisos, that the 48 covenants shel sheish meos elv shloishes olaf v'chamish meos v'chamishim times 603,550 nimso chol echad echad Yisrael sheish meos elv shloishes olaf v'chamish meos v'chamishim. So my binayu, what exactly is the difference? Amrav misharshia arva, the arva de arva ikuminayu, a guarantor versus a guarantor of the guarantor. In other words, the question is it just enough that you're responsible on an individual level, or is it also because of the arvas obligations, which would require you possibly to have to multiply an additional 603,550. Look at Rashi. Im nasikol echad arev. Are you like a cosigner or a guarantor al aravuso shel chavero? Also on the arevus of your friend, not just on his individual responsibilities, but do you need to be an arev on the arev? So Rashi says, according to one shita, lo nasikol echad echad arev al arvus shel chavero el al choivaso shel chavero, just on his own individual obligation, but not on the obligation that you have on others. Okay, so again, the question is, when you multiply 48 times 603,550, do you have to multiply it against another 603,550? Darish Rabbi Yehuda ben Nachmani, Maturgmani, the Rav Shimon ben Lakish, Kol Parsha Kul Nemra Ella ben Noif and Noefes. The whole parsha, says Rashi, Shel Hargrizim Lo Nemra Ella ben Noif and Noefes. It's specifically talking about someone who is engaged in lewd sexual behavior. Or ha'ish asher yasa pesel masecha v'gaimer ba'or sagile. So just a curse should be enough. Says Rashi, Binya kaifer be'ikrahu the sagli ba'or. It should just be enough with this curse. El lazeb al erva v'hoiled ben. This is referring to someone who had tashmish with his erva. He has a child. And then this child goes to idol worship. Cursed are the parents because they're the cause of it. If it's just coming to tell you that the blessing takes place on Mount Gerizim, so Har already knew that. The pasuk says, Il yamdu levarech ha'am al har grizim uksiv ve'el yamdu al kol b'harevel. So why does that have to basically essentially repeat itself? El hakdim brachol klol. Rather, the whole purpose is to put the blessing before the curse. Yachiyu kol brachos koim leklolos You would think that's the case by all the situations. Brachas always go before the klolos. Talmud lemer brachu klola. Bracha achas kodemes leklola. One bracha comes before the klolos. The in kol brachos kodem the klolos, but not all the other ones. Says Rashi. So you would think all the brachas should come first. Shigimu kol brachos tchila. First say all the brachos, this whole long list of all the brachos. Ad baruch asher yokim v'yachach yiftechu b'klolos. The answer is no, we don't do that. You start off with a bracha, and then you turn into a klol. Do a bracha and then a klol back and forth. You start off with the brachos, but you don't say all the brachos first. Okay. Lahakish bracha l'klol loy melcha ma klol b'levim af bracha l'levim. Doesn't make any difference. Just like the klolos with the levim, so too also when it comes to the bracha. Ma klol b'kol ram. Af bracha b'kol ram. Just like the curses out loud, the bracha is also the same way. Ma kol b'loshen kodesh, af bracha b'loshen kodesh. Ma klola b'chlal prat, af bracha b'chlal prat, as we established. Ma klola el v'el oinin v'oimrim amein, af kol bracha el v'el oinin v'oimrim amein. Questioning. We're going to stop there. Mahu sidrin shel brachos of klolos, mimehem kodim. So as we said, so Amar bracha achas. You start off saying one bracha. V'chayzer al klolos. Then afterwards you go to the curses. The Messiah b'shar brachos, and then afterwards you complete the other brachos. That's what it sounds like. I think there's two ways to read this. The way this is being read in Dirshu, you start off with one bracha, then you go and do all the klolos, and then you do all the brachas afterwards. That's what it sounds like. Let's read the Gemara. Again, it said Talmud lemer bracha klal bracha achas kodemus klala. Then called brachos kodemus klolos, which, according to the way he's reading it, is that only the first bracha is said, and then afterwards you open the klolos. Look at Rashi. Shigmur kol habrachos tchila. You would think that's what you do. Ad baruch yaftechu b'klala. So we don't do that. So again, the way he's learning it up is you say the first bracha, and then you say all the klolos, and then you go back to the brachos. Or you say the first bracha, klala, and you continue to go back and forth, which seemed to me is the Pashup shot, but maybe that's not the Pashup shot reading. Okay, TA 17. Eza shevet yored chila yom. Which shevet first went into the sea? We know it was Yehuda. Ma zacha b'shvil b'kach. This is a pretty simple question. So Yeshes l'chad man de Emer Binyamin Yared v'nasu shpis and ligvura. L'chad man de Emer Yehuda was zacha lasas mamshol Yisrael. So it's actually machlokas taka. So it's either TA 17, as we just saw on the top. So either it was shift to shul Binyamin, which is referring to the whole shevet, or Nachshon ben Aminadav, who was, of course, from Shevet Yehuda. So depending on what it is, either is Binyamin, and because of that, he became Ushpiz Chon Ligvura, which means, as we said, he was able to be Zoiche, the Kaddish Kedoshim was by him, or that Yehuda was Zoiche because of that to have leadership. The Yor Dechila, let's see where was the Gemara say this. Lefikach Zach Yehuda Lasois Memshol B'Yisrael. Okay, that was TA 17. So again, it's either Shevet Binyamin or Shevet Yehuda. TB 17. Mi mahashvatim lo haya kosov al ephod kafiyas seder katoldoy. So we did that last time. Elu gimel chalukim yesh ben nesias kapayim adkam.